Hey y'all, it is Sunday and I'm your girl Taria. Thank you for coming to watch another WEIGO podcast, aka What Else Is Going On podcast, YouTube video. The audio versions of the podcast can be found wherever it is you listen to your podcast, whether it's iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. I am really thinking about taking these episodes that I do um, that I'm trying to do daily and uploading them as mini podcast episodes, but I'm not really sure because I kind of wanted to keep the podcast, and this. Speaking of podcasts, I've reached out to a couple of guests that I think that you guys will like. So I'm just waiting to hear back to see if we can get some dates and things going on. So let's get into the things of the things of the things. First up, we all saw this news come out, and I wanted to get down here to talk to y'all about it. The Real Housewives of New Jersey, as you probably know, unless you've been living under a reality TV rock, that there will be no reunion. So there was speculation online, a lot of sites, talking about it, speculating. We pretty much knew that it was true. You know what I mean? Like, I believed it when I first saw it. And then People Magazine came out with the article written by Dave Quinn, who has worked with Bravo. He wrote the Housewives book, I think Diamonds and Rose. So, not I think he wrote it. I know he wrote it, but I think it's called Diamonds and Rose. But anyway, let's get into People's article. It says, what is going on? It's so weird. I don't know if it's an ad in the way, but I can't see the. I wanted to read you all the headline, but I guess I don't have to. Oh, here it is. The Real Housewives of New Jersey won't have a traditional reunion for season 16 exclusive. Season 14 will end on an unresolved note for Teresa Giudice, Melissa Gorga, Dolores Catania, Margaret Joseph, Jennifer Aiden, Danielle Cabral, Rachel Fuda, Jackie Goldschneider, and Jen Fessler. The Real Housewives of New Jersey is flipping the table on season 14. People can exclusively confirm that for the first time in the history of this East Coast, and I'm saying this, not the, but East Coast based reality series, there will not be a traditional reunion. A reunion is meant to have resolution, and it's clear in the season finale that there is no path forward in that type of setting. An insider familiar with the situation tells People. So the network is figuring out a different concept to wrap up the season. So clearly we know it's somebody from Bravo gave the information, of course, to Dave to write it in People. It's been a fractured season for Real Housewives of New Jersey that saw longstanding rifts only continue to drive co-stars, then they name all the co-stars, further apart. That's the same divide that caused RHONJ to have split panels at BravoCon over the past 2 years. At the center of the conflict is the feud between longstanding housewives and sisters-in-law, Teresa and Melissa. All season long, the two reportedly did not interact until the explosive finale that was teased in the premiere episode. Margaret is on the outs with Teresa, too, after alleging at the season 13 reunion that the mother of Forrest's husband, Louis Ruelas, called and threatened her son at his place of business. Let me tell you something. You threaten my son, my kids, my daughter, we have a problem. We ain't got to wait for no cameras up. Knock, knock. Who's there? Me. Come outside. Because we have a problem. We need to have a conversation. Both Teresa and Louis have denied Margaret's claim, but the Soiree founder has remained insistent in her desire not to associate with them, even moving away from friends of the franchise, Jackie and Jen, as they've gotten closer to Teresa. Now, I will say this. Jen Fessler even said she didn't believe that Louis didn't call. Like, she believes that Louis made the call, and evidently there is proof. Teresa and Louis, meanwhile, have claimed that Margaret's been speaking with Louis's ex to float negative stories about him on the show, which Margaret has denied. Listen, Margaret may have. She probably is. Let's also talk about how it's come out that Teresa and Jen, I'll say allegedly, but receipts have been dropped, are doing the same exact thing. If you've missed that drama, the Twitter account Melissa's Old Nose, I don't know if she's the same on Instagram or not, but she dropped receipts of DMs and things and texts between her and Jen Aiden, and between her, Teresa, and Teresa's lawyer. So it's just interesting. It's like the two Spider-Man memes pointing at each other. They're all doing the same thing. So that's what gets me. It's like, stick to the information you got, meaning you got this information. Let's talk about this information instead of trying to bring up, oh, they always go to blogs. So now the story is that I'm going to blogs or I'm going to the X to get the story. But is the story true? Let's talk about that, because y'all are all going to the blogs. It's not like Teresa and Jen aren't going to the blogs. Then maybe they would have the leg to stand on to say, well, you know what? I don't do that. She's doing that. But no, you do. So let's talk about what's in the blogs or what the X's are saying. Hello, y'all all do it. That's what gets me. It's like they are hypocrites. John, and it says, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Teresa and Lewis denied those claims, but in the season 14 premiere episode, Teresa repeated accusations about John on the internet from his ex that he was the biggest drug dealer in Bergen County and that he was into kinky stuff involving X toys. John laughed off the claims, telling people the damaging lies repeated about me are not rooted in reality. Because I remember when Jen was talking about it, Jen Aiden, and laughing, I heard he likes double-sided, toys. And I said, Jen Aiden wouldn't be able to say nair. I tweeted this. She wouldn't be able to say nair thing to me about what my husband or what I like in the bedroom when yours sleeps in the pool house to get away from you. Okay. Anyway, still the rumors upset Rachel so much that she had a falling out with Jen because she continued to associate with Teresa. They're talking about Jen Fessler. Still the rumors, oh yeah, I got into that. Previews this season show that the Fudas come face to face with Teresa and Lewis during a future episode in a sit down that ends with John calling Teresa the poster child for mortgage fraud. He says, when I need my money laundered, I'll call you. I mean, that's kind of lazy. It's like, we know this about her, just like when he told her she was a has-been. Now, I'll say this, Teresa is not a lot of things, and I've made it very clear I'm not her biggest fan. However, a has-been, like, nah, come on, let's not go there, John. So interesting, they're not going to have a reunion reminiscent of the Real Housewives of New York City with Ebony. I feel like I feel like they're probably not having the reunion because they don't want, to be honest, I'm just going to be honest, to have to deal with confronting Teresa, who they've made it very clear is the leader of the franchise. They don't want to have to confront her about doing things that goes against what their contract, you know what I mean? Like the rules of their job. So that they don't have to deal with it, they just won't have the reunion and they'll do these separate interviews. Because I believe that's what is going to happen. It looks like, so let's get into some more of it. The drama between the Jersey housewives hasn't just been existing in front of the cameras. Over the past few months, a scandal has been erupting on social media in which a woman behind a former troll account named Melissa's Old Nose claimed that Teresa and Jennifer asked her and other notable accounts to dig up dirt exposing Melissa, Rachel, John, and Margaret's secrets, which the two would later bring up on the show in order to manufacture drama. The account has even shared screenshots of alleged direct messages with Teresa and Jennifer that show the housewives shared screener to episodes before they aired and allegedly gave gifts and financial compensation to the woman so she would continue her attacks. That is definitely against, when you get the link for the screener, you are not to share that with anybody, even other people that are on the show. Say if you share it with like a friend of, like you can't, you're not to share those with anybody. Jennifer has not addressed the claims, but in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Teresa denied any involvement. I don't do that. Everyone who knows me, I am so real. Like what you see is what you get, and I don't go digging up people's past. I'm going to just say I don't believe that. Real Housewives fans know that cast divides do not lead to a pleasant viewing experience. In fact, both the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Real Housewives of Potomac recently underwent major cast reboots due to discord that couldn't be resolved. Now, to my knowledge, that's not why Atlanta underwent the reboot. I just thought it was because it didn't work. Like they were all filming together. Like, yeah, Kenya and Marlo weren't seeing it. Kenya wasn't seeing it for Marlo, rightly so. So I just don't but anyway, Bravo famously does not comment on casting, but a second source tells People that the network has not made any permanent decisions about RHO and J. Bravo, everything and anything is on the table, the insider tells People, noting that all options are being discussed and nothing official about the show has been decided. So they're not having the reunion. And like I said, I feel like they don't want to have to deal with the fallout from this social media stuff and the sharing the screeners and having to confront Teresa about that. And hold her accountable to the things that have come out, because the account gave all the information to Bravo. So they don't want to have to deal with it, just like they didn't want to have to deal with actually dealing with having to talk about the biases and different things on the and racism on the Real Housewives of New York with Ebony. So they canceled the reunion. They probably didn't want to have to deal with coming out saying, like, everyone, even now, people are so focused on saying, Ramona was taken to HR, but it was not substantiated. I mean, it was not corroborated, but there were two claims against her that were. So Bravo didn't want to have to deal with that and didn't want to have those conversations. I truly believe that. So I believe they did a big disservice to Ebony, whether you liked her or not. She still should have been able to have a chance to sit down and we have these conversations. With Jersey, I feel like they ought to make them. This is your job. You don't get to dictate to me who you are and aren't going to film with. But again, especially with the reunion, Bravo doesn't want to have to hold some of their folks on the franchise accountable, I believe. So let's just not have the reunion, but have sit-down separate interviews with the ladies. So while Tom at Bravo, stuff is really going on. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Moving on, let's get into, actually, we moved on, but we're coming back for a minute. I'm going to read something that was posted on Bravo and Cocktails. So Bravo and Cocktails is a website that talks things reality TV. Spill it to bravococktails.com. So this is an email that was sent in to Bravo Cocktails. I can confirm that your earlier tea is correct, that the New Jersey reunion won't be happening. This was before the official, the word from People came out. So when the different accounts were posting allegedly season 14 Real Housewife of New Jersey reunion canceled. So again, this was sent before People confirmed it. I can confirm that your earlier tea is correct, that the New Jersey reunion won't be happening. Instead, Bravo will air At Home with Special, where Andy goes to each housewife's home and interviews them. I also know on good authority that the show will undergo a Roni reboot, with the network already looking for rich women. They are focusing on NFL wives and baseball wives first and foremost. That's alleged. So we shall see, y'all. We shall see. Now moving on, I talked to y'all a couple of days ago about Caroline Manzo and the affidavit that she did. I believe it was May 29th, and we got into the specifics of what Brandi Glanville allegedly did to her on the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. You can go back and watch that video. It is a trigger warning, though she gets very graphic about what she experienced. Well, now Brandi Glanville is speaking out, and I got this from Bravo sociologist on Instagram, because I've been blocked by Brandi for a couple of years, so I'm on Twitter. So it says, the Caroline BS has plagued me for too long. Her accusations are false and defamatory. I have absolutely zero attraction to her. I've done reality TV for 13 years and have never had a complaint. This is a simple case of buyer's remorse. She had fun and now regrets it. This is nonsense, and I can prove it. Y'all. And then she also tweeted, I just saw that LVP was on a podcast and said she doesn't condone cheating and would never put up with it on her show if she knew. However, she begged me to sit down with a woman that she knew was effing my husband. to get the spinoff show Vanderpump Rules. So remember, that's how they introduced Vanderpump Rules. The ladies from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills were at dinner at it wasn't Villa Blanca, was it? It was Sir, right? They were there, and Sheen and Lisa wanted Brandi to sit down with Sheena, who had an affair with Brandi's husband. She had to sit down, and then it rolled into Vanderpump Rules. So Brandi says she is innocent. I'm going to read her statement again. Well, her Twitter statement, her ex statement. The Caroline BS has plagued me for too long. Her accusations are false and defamatory. I have absolutely zero attraction to her. I've done reality TV for 13 years and have never had a complaint. This is a simple case of buyer's remorse. She had fun and now she regrets it. This is nonsense and I can prove it. For her to throw out there, I have absolutely zero attraction to her, that doesn't mean anything. People are actually assaulted by people that they don't necessarily have an attraction to, meaning it happened. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing. But you saying you have absolutely zero attraction to her is irrelevant in this. I hate, like, that is so irrelevant. Caroline is not playing. And like I said in the other video, if this happened to her, everyone involved that watched, that knew it, that tried to speak for Brandi or cover it up, I hope they get everything that they deserve. So, but we shall see. We're going to keep an eye on this and see where this case goes. Last thing, Bravo related. Something about her child. Kitchen nightmare. Ariana Madix and Katie Maloney's ex sandwich shop chef slams underwhelming menu at new eatery. Chef Penny is coming for Ariana Madix and Katie Maloney's menu after the Vanderpump Rules star opened their long-awaited sandwich shop without the 52-year-old's expertise, RadarOnline.com has learned. So if you watch the season, you know that we saw Chef Penny on there. And she's a friend of Lisa Vanderpump. She also said she owned the name. I'm sorry, that she was supposed to get a certain amount of money, but basically, and she said it was like contractual, but basically it wasn't. When you hear the texts that Ariana said were sent back and forth, and then that Chef Penny confirmed, it was the ladies telling her, send over basically a request to have our lawyers look at it. There was no confirmation that she was going to get what she wanted. So Chef Penny is, I already said that. After major delays and a feud with Penny, who spent months creating the menu and custom sandwich combinations, something about her finally opened last week, and the lady's ex-chef had some critiques. Penny said it's not her menu and not the sandwiches she curated when she was hired by Madix and Maloney. This is not what I put together. This is not the vision that I had for this place, the celebrity chef told the U.S. Sun after the sandwich shop opened. Penny isn't impressed with what she sees, claiming their combinations are confusing and unappealing to the eye. People wanted something spectacular. The sandwiches sound sexy, but unfortunately look underwhelming, she stated. The chef gave several examples of what Madix and Maloney are allegedly doing wrong. They don't know how to cross-utilize. I would not bring in 5 different kinds of bread for 10 sandwiches. I also would not put certain sandwiches on certain kinds of bread because the bread-to-meat ratio, I'm sorry, because I know all that is important, but it's just funny. The bread-to-meat ratio is completely off from what I've seen in photos and people's posts. Now, yes, that meat-to-bread ratio is important. I know when I make my grilled ham and cheese sandwiches, like it needs to, like, I don't want to take a bite that just has cheese and not ham, and definitely not just ham with no cheese. So that ratio needs to be on point. Penny famously created the Greek goddess sandwich as shown on Vanderpump Rules, which remained the Meg. The chef said that's one sandwich the reality stars allegedly messed up, telling the outlet that she would never put a Greek goddess sandwich in a lavish wrap as it's so moist and is going to fall apart. One thing Penny is adamant about is that these sandwiches are not my creations. However, she said they are definitely using some ingredients in each one that I introduced to them, like Boursin cheese. I can say 50% of the menu are items that I gave them, and they changed some things. Penny has no plans to go into the now open sandwich shop and believes it might be short-lived due to Maddox and Maloney not being restaurant operators. Keeping the business going will be challenging, she stated. At some point, the fans will realize that the only person they will see at the shop is Terry, Katie's mom. Chef Penny isn't holding out hope for something about her future. It's a once and done kind of place, she told The Sun. It's not a business that can be scaled. Unfortunately, their overhead is going to be too high and they can't make enough product. RadarOnline.com has reached out to Maddox and Maloney's rep for comment. Excuse me, y'all. Chef Penny said, y'all is just a hit it and quit it. Y'all are a fly by night. Y'all are a one-hit wonder. Y'all are done. Y'all have taken 50% of my, your menu is 50% of my ideas. And even when you took 50% of my ideas, that 50% you still did incorrectly. You got too many breads and you put in moist sandwiches in a wrap that's going to fall apart. Chef Penny is really upset. Child, so we'll see how this goes. Listen, for Katie and Ariana's sake, I know Katie has said she's always wanted to run a sandwich shop. She grew up working in, I believe her mom's in restaurants or what have you. So I just hope that it works out for them, that it's everything that they want it to be, however big or small that is. And that, excuse me again, y'all, talking about sandwiches got me yawning. And that the paying customers are satisfied. I've seen mixed reviews in regards to the sandwiches at the restaurant. But what's kind of irritating to me is every single time I read about something about her, specifically sandwiches, I always want to go, literally, I want a sandwich. I want to go to Subway and get an Italian BMT with no salami, but the pepperoni and the ham, lettuce, one tomato cut in half, because I get a 6-inch, one tomato cut in half with salt, pepper, and oregano on it. And yes, I eat it dry. Well, actually, I can eat it dry, or I come home and put some of the Olive Garden dressing that they sell in Walmart. The dressing that Olive Garden use, I drizzle that on the sandwich, and it's so good. So you see what I mean? Every time I hear about their sandwiches, I want a sandwich from Subway. But anyway, I'm hoping that they don't lose, they don't lose in this situation, that they win, and that they have Chef Penny looking foolish out here. Who knows? Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Anybody that's in LA or planning to go to LA, are you going to something about her? Let me know what you think about Brandi Glanville's response. How are we feeling about the cancellation of the reunion for Jersey? And do you think that they ought to make them? Because Melissa recently came out and said she's willing to film with anyone. Teresa said she's not ever filming with her. So, and Margaret said she's not interacting with Teresa. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think they need to make them film together? Y'all let me know. I will be back. Say a prayer for your girl, y'all. Just got my windshield replaced. Y'all know, because I was here the other day down here doing a video, got the windshield replaced, and then I had to take my car to Pep Boys. Child, new front rotors, new rear rotors, new brake pads, new windshield wipers, and 2 bulbs were out in my lights. Y'all know they wanted $2,000 for all that. I get it. Markup is high. Praise the Lord. Oh, and I need 4 new tires. So I'm going to get the tires today from somewhere else. And praise the Lord. My husband has been doing brakes for forever. Like, he used to have to replace his brakes a lot, like years and years before we were married or whatever. And he learned how to do rotors and pads and all that stuff. So he's done that on every car that we've ever needed them, even our newer ones. And he is replacing the rotors, the front and back and the rear. And Pep Boys was hot, y'all. They was like, because my car failed inspection. Because I have to get it inspected every year for Uber and Lyft. Even a brand new car, you still have to get inspected. They still have to have the inspection on file. And it's every year. And they was hot. They was like, well, if you don't get the work done here, it's going to be a $25 re-inspection fee. Normally you pay the inspection fee. It used to be anyway. And if it failed, you have 30 days to get what they said needed to be fixed, and then when you bring them back within that 30 days, they re-inspect only for those things. They don't re-inspect anything else. So they were like, it's going to be a 25, because it was $75 for the inspection. It's going to be a $25 re-inspection fee. I said, no problem. I'll see you on Monday, because I had scheduled it for tomorrow. So the hubby is out doing that right now. So I am, thank you. I'm so glad. As Melissa Gorga says, thank you, Jesus, that he is able to do that. So y'all let me know what y'all think about the things that we discussed. And tonight, The Real Housewives of Dubai, y'all just watch it so y'all can talk about it and tell me what y'all think with me, okay? All right, I will talk to y'all later. See ya.